So, guys, to kick off this Saturday, we're gonna kick it off as always. Marvin and Kid here coming to you again, and I'm gonna kick off of pretty much the lineup for what I viewed this today, and we're gonna start off with ThunderCats. This is episode 17 entitled "Native Son." This episode pretty much answers a lot of questions and plot holes that we probably wanted to know about Tigra. So we'll kick it off. So while traveling through the mountains in search of a shortcut, Lionel and Tigra come across a cave, which is home of a lost tiger clan, who were kind of outcasted by the other cats for their loyalty towards Mumra or some. The tiger leader Caspian leads them pretty much. Who leads them to the leader known as Javed, who is basically Tiger's biological father, and who tells him how basically Javed tells Tiger how he ended up with Claudius and things like that. So Lionel um, and it kind of gets a little bit like a little bit Javed because of Tigra feeling that Javed abandoned him and things like that, and we kind of get a backstory into that. We even get to see Lionel's mother in this, which was very interesting to see, and it was kind of sad, which I'll get into later. So we find out that Lionel and Tigra learn that an evil has been haunting the Tiger clan for a long time. And after fighting these shadow creatures, Lionel and Tigra catch up with Javed, who states what he had to do to protect him and Tigra, which is very interesting. Well, Lionel basically later tells Tigra that he hasn't found the tracks of the shadow creatures, and that the Tiger clan has been fighting has been fighting back for hasn't been fighting back for some reason. So basically we see Lionel use the Sword of Omens, the sight beyond sight for a long time. He hasn't used that in a long time, and he realizes that he discovers that shadow creatures are posing as some of the tiger cats. It was kind of interesting, which leads up into more later on. Javed states to Lionel that a disease is swept through, them, and that Caspian suggests that they turn into the ancient spirits. We get the backstory. There was a plague. The tiger clan turns to the ancient spirits, who states that they had to make a sacrifice. The heir of the tiger clan, Javed, couldn't bring himself to killing Tigra. So basically, what he did was he sent Tiger away on a balloon, which was and basically in the results of that, the ancient spirits found out about it, and they turned the tigers into these, you know, these dark creatures. Um, Tiger is raised by Claudius and his wife, and everything seems to go well with Tiger, until even to the point where we see the birth of Lionel, and in the birth of Lionel, uh, his mother dies giving birth to Lionel. So this was kind of a sad episode, guys, because it was really like on the mark of explaining things, but a lot of it was deep stuff in a way. So in that, Java tells Lionel to take Tiger away from him before the other tigers just decide to sacrifice him. Uh, and Meanwhile, basically, Caspian and the other tigers decide to break the curse before the sunset. Tiger later meets up with Java, who states that Tiger must go, and that live with the other cats was has affected his judgment. He's basically pulling off, to protect him. I don't love you. Reverse psychology. Give me away, thank you, and things like that. And Tiger leaves as Caspian arrives with a message which involves attacking Tigra, and Javik comes to Tiger's aid and forces to kill Tigra. They literally showed him stab Caspian in self-defense, and that's when Javik states that he didn't have to it didn't have to be this way. Caspian says that it did. It was your fault that you cursed us. And Caspian confesses his actions. You know, they turned him into a monster, and then you literally see that the Tiger Clan turn into these shadow creatures that the Lionel and Tigra fought earlier. And in doing so, uh, Lionel and Tiger have to end up fighting these monsters as Tiger is restrained by one of the shadow monsters that was his father. Tiger now knows what Java did out of love, and he basically forgives his father in the end, and that kind of sets his father back, his mindset back to, and he breaks the curse. And unfortunately, he he broke the curse, but they weren't really alive or dead. Javed even states, we're neither dead or alive. So I guess you can say they're undead, or they're on a plane of kind of existence and death, and they all disappear in the end. Uh, and basically, Lionel tells at the end of the episode, Tiger says, he basically says he wonders if he's going to keep losing those that he cares about. And, Lionel comes to his aid, puts his hand on his brother's shoulders and says, you know, you won't lose me. So let's go find that shortcut. And the episode ends right there, guys. Uh, to me, this was a very touching episode. I thought that we would get to see Bengali in this episode, but oh well, but it was a really heartfelt episode. This really explained a lot of for Tigra, especially for Tigra, in terms of how could Claudius have a tiger as a son and he's a lion and things like that. Where Tiger come from, what his father was like, everything like that. So that to me that was pretty much on the ball. Um, I can't wait to the next week's episode called Survival of the Fittest. But other than that, guys, you guys tell me what you thought of Native Son, episode 17, Native Son of ThunderCats. Did you like it? Did you feel it was too much of a soap opera? To me, I can care less about that. I thought it was well done in terms of the tone of the episode, and just all the tragedies in this episode. We saw the death of you know Lionel's mother, giving birth to him, saving him over herself, and of course the sacrifice Tiger's dad did to protect him, things like that. So I thought it was well done. But you guys tell me what you thought of this episode. And this is Marvin the Kid. And on to the next.